I started my career in finance. I had graduated from Dartmouth, landed on Wall Street. That's what everyone did. And I got there and I liked my job, but I wanted more for my career. And when I thought about next steps in my career, it felt like the only option was to go get an MBA. It's a very expensive degree. I would have had to saddle myself with debt, and I would have taken myself out of the workforce for 2 years. I really didn't want to do that. So the problem that I set out to solve with brunch work is, if the MBA degree isn't an option for people, what is? How do we recreate the value of an MBA degree in major cities across the world and create that opportunity for people, where the core value of the MBA degree is, one, access to a network of brilliant peers and business leaders, the opportunity to build your soft skills, and access to the innovation economy. So that's what brunch work is all about: empowering young professionals and entrepreneurs through weekly programming. We host the world's top business, tech, and creative leaders every single week over dynamic sessions in New York, San Francisco, and LA. I'm always inspired by the stories of female venture capitalists and entrepreneurs who are a few steps ahead of me, and especially those who it feels like have crossed a certain finish line. There was a particularly inspiring week in New York Tech where both Rent the Runway and Glossier, they both crossed the unicorn valuation mark. And for me, seeing that other women can do it and that they do it just really empowers me that entrepreneurs who are earlier in their journey, they have a shot too. While I was still working in finance, I felt that there was more of a glass ceiling for women. A profession like finance, where there are just so many demands on your time, it felt like there were more barriers to women, and it was just less flexibility. It was part of the reason that I was excited to start my own company and forge my own path. I found that being an entrepreneur, there are less barriers, and that I feel more empowered as a woman in business, sort of blazing my own path versus how I'd felt while I was still in finance. Starting your own company as a woman, it's a way for you to sort of create the environment for your team that's warm, welcoming, and receptive to women, and it's a privilege that I'm honored to have. Women can do exactly everything that men can do, and probably even better. And I strongly believe that if women were more active in the business world and they stayed in the business world longer, that not only the business world but the entire world would be better for it. My advice for women seeking funding is two things. The first one is just go for it. I think a lot of times women, more so than men, hold themselves back and they sort of write themselves out of the equation. So my advice for women is, don't be afraid. Think about the best possible scenario, not the worst possible scenario. And when it comes to tapping into your network for different opportunities, when it comes to sending cold emails, just do it. Don't write yourself out because you're scared other people will. So that's my biggest advice, is go for it and sort of take control of the opportunity. My second piece of advice is, you will get a shot to pitch your idea, whether it's an investor or a client or an important partner. At the time that you do so, make sure that you are very prepared and you know your numbers inside out. You know your business strategy inside out. And that when you're really prepared, when you know your story, when you know your numbers, when you know your projections, you'll sound very confident and you'll win the deal that you're interested in. I think it's in the small steps that for women to feel more empowered in the business world, it's all about women helping each other along and being receptive to women who are at earlier stages of their career. If they reach out, take that coffee meeting. If you take that coffee meeting, help that next woman out by passing along her information where needed. I think if women help each other out, have each other's backs, I think it'll lead to benefits across the ecosystem.